swinging in for like a monthly hour-long massage at one of those massage envy places is
Yeah.
like, you walk out of there going, fuck, man, I feel amazing. And it also kind of forces you to contemplate the world.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Aeons Radio. That is Eric, right across from me, looking lovely and human.
Hello. My God.
And that is Vanessa, right next to me, looking lovely and human. Oh, I'm Kelly, you guys. It is so nice to see you in person.
So much better.
Especially when it was kind of up in the air if this would happen. Remember last episode we were like, bat down the hatches, we're supposed to get a wind event.
Oh, Lord.
A couple of people dead, a million people out of power,
For
trees
days.
down all over the place.
Yeah.
Eric, let's see, that was Tuesday night, I think. And then you got power back
Yesterday,
Saturday.
Saturday at
God.
about, I don't know, sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah, holy cow. And of course, it's cold weather and all of that stuff. My power went out for a day, which was bad enough, but came back on pretty good. And Vanessa, you had the worst of it.
I had to be the one who didn't lose power.
Right.
And everyone around me, every single one of my siblings, every single one of my friends, nobody had power. And I was like,
Yeah, checking in with you. Is everybody okay? Anything I can do?
yeah, my cousin was going to come to my place and cook dinner, but about an hour before she was going to come down, her power came back. So I was like,
He's like, screw it. I ain't going to see you now.
That's right.
it was like going to be a 40, 50-minute drive. She's in Kirkland. So I was like, please.
Yeah.
It's
40-minute drive. What's that like? We got hit hard.
Yeah.
The estimations, I mean, granted, I know tornadoes, and if you get hit by hard, full hurricanes, it wasn't much. But the gusts in Issaquah were Category 4 hurricane level wind events.
yeah.
There was a image that showed up at a lot of places of a place that a tree had fallen into and had like these red shutters on it. That was like 50 yards from our house. It was
Oh my
right
God.
there. And as we wandered around afterwards, there was one tree that if it had fallen any other direction would have landed right on our building.
Yeah, you have some big trees behind your place.
Lots of them.
Hey.
The the roof is being worked on, and they set up a porta-john thingy on the grounds. That got blown over and was rolled down a hill a little ways. The roofers came in the next day, looked at it, and just laughed. I was like, well, that's not our problem. What else happened? There's a tree that fell, several trees fell over the Newport Way stretch that I live on. We had maybe a mile long. There was at least 4 trees across the road. And the road in front of us, there's 2 main north and south ways through Issaquah, where Newport Way is one of them. Shut down for like 8 hours.
Oy.
And they had a bus out there that stopped and turned on all his lights. So I could tell they were sawing through the trees, using that as a light source.
Wow.
I didn't think it was too bad, but as we were leaving one day and Dina's looking over the side of the road going, oh my God. I'm like, what? I can't see. We came back and I could see. And I'd say that stretch of woods between Target and our place, 20% of the trees were down. I mean, it looked like barren space and stuff. It was, I'm amazed we didn't get hit with something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were really lucky. I did see somebody in our apartment or in our complex watching up with a window.
Oh.
So somebody's window got taken out.
Yeah.
But,
Could you hear, I assume you could hear the storm.
oh God, yes. It sounded like, if you ever stood, or SeaTac, there's an area you can stand where it's just started to thing. It's like a neighborhood. They have like a school or something over there.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like that. It sounded like lo-fiing jet engines. And you could hear it. You could hear like back about the ways you hear this like, oh, here's it's coming. And it hit you and then you could hear it go.
Wow.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was the the heaviest winds I've personally experienced. But yeah, so it was fun.
Yeah, crazy stuff. This
Man.
happens every 5 years or so here. We get a big windstorm. This was a really big one. A couple years ago, we had a big one. I was out of power, if you guys remember, for about a week.
Yeah.
And this time the winds were hard here, but they weren't as hard as they were that last time, and they had all shifted inland towards you.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
So
Which is weird because when you saw the weather, it was like off the coast where it was this big swirl. And then I was like, wait, how is this coming in from Issaquah? I'm so confused. All right. I don't get weather. It's fine.
Yeah. Something to do with the weather blowing a different direction.
yeah,
Sure.
Southeast instead of north, whatever it normally is.
Yeah.
yeah, bomb cyclone.
Yeah.
Bombs like,
And
what a
They-
name.
So that happened like Wednesday night, I think.
Tuesday night.
Okay, and then Thursday and Friday we were hit with another much smaller one.
Much smaller, yeah.
But tough on people who were still trying to get their power back and all that.
Yeah, the biggest annoyance was what happens whenever there's any kind of storm. The people on like, that wasn't anything. Nothing happened. It's like, nothing happened where you are.
Yeah.
Like, my father-in-law's place is fine.
Yeah.
They had a few trees down and stuff like that, but he wasn't over there going, well, this wasn't anything. Because
Yeah.
he knew.
Yeah, totally. Like I knew that my neighborhood, it was literally, I could see the row of houses behind me and the row of houses in front of me. We all had power and everywhere else around did not.
Oh,
so
weird.
yeah, I knew that like we just somehow lucked out our little patch of
That's wild.
of place. But my nanny was like texting me and she lives 5 minutes away and she was just like, I don't have power.
Come
How's
on
the
down.
baby? I was like,
Jesus Christ. Vanessa, you still have a nanny? How old are you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Anyway.
Also, you guys, happy Thanksgiving as this
Yeah.
drops.
Yes,
we are
happy
in
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving weekend, and we're going to do what we do every Thanksgiving now, which is Frankenstein movies.
Yay.
You
Sorta.
guys are going to be hanging with Martha, I assume, Eric?
Yeah. Yep. We're doing that. A little casual this year due to some of the events earlier in the year, but
Yeah.
we'll still be getting together, so that's good.
That's nice. And Vanessa, you guys are...
Milton Freewater, yeah, over by Walla Walla. So we'll drive over there
Oh,
because
cool.
Thanksgiving the pass is generally still passable versus I know
A lot of snow dumping.
it's fine.
true.
I got
That is
my
true,
studded tires put on.
Okay.
I got my very crappy chains for my Honda Fit in my car.
You're also going way off the beaten path. Are you going to the winery?
Yeah,
Yeah, way off the beaten path. So
Oh,
if there's
cow.
yeah.
snow, you'll definitely have it.
Make
Yeah.
it worth your while and bring me back some wine.
Oh, there you go.
And if you're
I'll
going
do
to
my
do a
best.
death-defying drive, then please bring back some wine.
Yeah, if it's really bad, we'll probably go south and then up. But it just adds like 3 hours to the trip. So.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing what, like down to Portland or something? And then
Down to
across?
Portland and then over by Hood River and then along the state and then up because Milton Freewater is at the very, very bottom of Washington State. Well, it's actually at the top of Oregon State. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to be spending it with some friends who are quite ill, so this could be a last Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So
God, this
yeah, good time.
getting older sucks.
Yeah.
I do have, and we can do this at the end if you like, a DeBronzo pizza challenge for.
Oh, I think that we should talk about it right now.
Okay.
For those of you who aren't aware, Mike DeBronzo is a longtime listener, a guest on one of the Amityville shows and probably on one coming up.
Yeah.
And delights in tormenting Eric with horrible movies.
Keeps trying. He keeps sending me those. So I'm going, I kind of like this, But he has decided to go for maybe an easier target.
Sure. Yeah.
It's only fair that since Vanessa introduced me and all of us to the magi of foes that I return the favor. Here's a little pizza so she can indulge in Night of the Demon from 1980.
Excellent.
I will leave the rest of the story off because I want you to experience it for yourself. Make sure you
Excellent.
get the unrated version. If you're a subscriber, it's available on Night Flight. It's also available for rent.
I'll
but
probably
it's
just rent
like
it.
a $3 rental, I think, on Amazon.
And somebody was selling that for a while. Was that a Vinegar Syndrome? Or Severin?
Severin.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, if I wasn't in the process of packing and moving my crap
just
all in
borrow
boxes,
it.
I just loan it to you. But I have no idea where it is right now.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'll hunt it down. Thank you. I like it when I get to be challenged. It doesn't happen very often. So
Don't challenge me. Guys, I watched some movies.
Good.
And the movies I'm talking about, I hope that you guys did not plan on talking about, but
well, we'll find
they're
out.
both very, very
I'll bet,
good.
I bet I might have one of them, but let's see.
Oh, okay. I watched Smile 2.
Oh, sure.
I've still
Okay.
not seen that one.
Fuck. It was awesome.
Excellent.
Really?
It's going to land somewhere in my top 5 this year.
Cool.
Whoa.
Now, I don't remember why I didn't like Smile, but I just thought it was a middling kind of film.
problems. Yeah.
And
Such a good idea, but the execution.
yeah, and this one has just popped up as a rental, and I get it, and immediately I'm angry because it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes long. I'm like, what the fuck for a Smile sequel? And then it just got fucking intense and crazy and cool, and I don't remember a lot of the mythology of the Smile demon, but it seems like they expanded it quite a bit.
Nice.
And whatever the curse is, it gets explained in a little more detail here, and it was just really good. It follows a pop rock singer who has come out of rehab after a horrible accident, and she's hurting from back pain, and so she decides she's going to go see her drug dealer. And when she gets there, he's been infected by this Smile demon, and of course he kills himself quite graphically in front of her, thus passing the curse on to her, and then she has to deal with this. And it's all, a lot of it is this real? Is this real? You know, so I don't know if that's going to frustrate some people, because
sure.
a big chunk of it turns out to be in her head, but the descent into madness is very believable. She's got a mother who's her manager, and who's saying the show must go on and this kind of shit. And she's got hangers on who are purely there for the money while she's clearly going mad. And it's really, really solid acting. And I'll say this, I still haven't watched Trap, but I know that there's a bunch of music involved in that.
Yeah.
And the music in this is fucking great and catchy, and I was just like, "This sounds like a hit. This sounds like a hit to me." And at one point, they take a break in the movie for like I don't know, 3/4 of a full music video. And I was like, "This seems a bit much," but then I was kind of like, "It's a cool song though," and the visuals are awesome and all this. So
Nice.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what a lot of other people are saying about this. I thought it got pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
I am right up there with it. I think it's fantastic.
Cool. I've heard a lot of good things
Okay.
from people whose opinion I'm like, hold on, you okay? I got to check this out now.
That was Smile 2. It's a rental, and it was very, very good. And I know, Vanessa, you were saying that this looks so stupid, and it does look stupid, but it's great.
I'm just bummed because I was trying to decide between seeing Smile 2 last week, and instead I went and saw Conclave.
I have not even heard of Conclave.
Conclave is like the sleeper hit that is a sort of drama around choosing a new pope.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like it's based on a book. So it has a lot of details that you don't normally get about how the process works. And it's got like Stanley Tucci in it, and got just like a lot of very recognizable people. And it was pretty good. I mean, I don't think it was like incredible. It was like a fun, who's one of those like action authors who, like James Patterson or something. Like it feels like a fun, actiony, like breezy book with just enough intelligence to make you feel like it's a smart movie.
Sure.
So, and like I just done some Catholic-y stuff, so I was like, yeah, let's see this version of the coin.
I like
And
that.
it was pretty good. I did not hate it. It's not genre, so I can't say much. I will say people who are religious will probably very much dislike this movie. So
Scandalous.
I'm more
indeed.
intrigued. So I figure we've talked a lot about it, but I've wrapped it up as well. Finally finished The Penguin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm like 2/3 the way through.
Are you?
I think I am an
will.
episode behind. I haven't
Oh, are
finished
you?
it. Yeah.
Well, okay. weird. Lapped y'all.
Yeah.
I liked it all the way through. It's got one thing that I thought was incredibly well done until the last episode, and it has nothing to do with Penguin. It has to do with his mom, where the portrayal of the dementia with a son and his mom was like, "Oh, this is rough to watch and incredibly accurate." But then at the end, they do something that does not happen with dementia patients. But it's comic book, and they did give a reason for it. So I'm like, okay, that'll work. But it's boy, it's pretty good.
Left open for another season, or
no, I think it's a one-off.
Okay.
Yeah, IMDb actually, there's this app I use to track streaming shows because they're all over the place now, and it said ended. So they may pick it up again, but usually that means one and done.
I saw it's floating around on Instagram and everything. The video of Colin Farrell in full makeup at the end of the shoot, and he's speaking to the crew and telling them how much he loves them but he's doing it in his own Irish accent, and it is so weird looking.
Oh my God.
But he's saying, "I love you guys. I've loved every minute of this, even when I didn't love it." And then he goes, "I'm not gonna miss this fucking suit." And then he goes into the Penguin voice, "And I'm not gonna miss this voice."
Oh, nice.
So it really made me like him a lot, because he has a pretty poor reputation.
He does. He does indeed.
As far as being, nice on set.
Maybe he's working on it.
Right. So, well, that's very cool. I gotta finish that. The other movie I watched is also a brand new rental, and I gotta say I fucking loved it. It's called Saturday Night, and it is the story of the opening night of Saturday Night Live, and it's all done in basically real time. So it starts an hour and a half before they go live. And how insane it was, I don't know if any of this is true. I hope it's all true. The fact that Belushi hadn't signed the contract until just before he went on because he was so pissed off about the bee suit and all the other people who were kind of interacting and all the tricks they were playing on Jim Henson. And I don't know if Jim Henson was as innocent a human being as they portray him in this, but he seems he seems more upset than he should be by some of the pranks the guys have pulled, like, him sticking, or they've taken some of the Muppets and put them into sexual positions, and he walks in. He's very offended.
Yeah, that's probably a little much.
I'm like, I think Jim Henson probably had a pretty good sense of humor about this, and those were adult Muppets. They weren't Sesame Street Muppets.
Bloopers of Kermit when he was doing Kermit's voice that, he wasn't so Puritan by any means.
But overall, I thought it was just fantastic. And one of the premises in the film is that NBC has set the series up to fail. Yeah. So they're kind of pushing him, even though things are starting to fall apart, they're pushing him to go live because they want it to fail so that they can put in reruns of The Tonight Show or something like that. And instead, I wouldn't say it goes off without a hitch, but and to be honest, I have watched that first season of Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, there's no way this would be even considered funny today.
No,
even George Carlin's stuff is not funny.
Yeah.
And but they're watching everybody in the audience just go insane over these things, and I was like, I guess it was a different time.
I've heard it's described as the correct flavor of what was going on, but the some of the actual moments and stuff aren't the same, but captures a lot of the feeling of what they were going through and the chaos and stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, most people that are still around that were there seem to think it's at least a decent portrayal. Of course, I think it was Chevy Chase who said some crap about it, but of course he says crap about everything. So.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that, I wonder if some of the things that happen in this are things that had happened over the years. And they push it in because they've got a fist fight between Chevy Chase and Belushi, and that didn't happen until Chevy was off the show and returned as a guest. Yep.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, this seems like this would have stopped Belushi from signing his contract. If he
That's a good point. Yes,
had that happen, but I thought it was really, really entertaining. Some of the likenesses are fair and some of them are dead on. And in fact, I was like, God, who's playing Aykroyd? He looks just like him and he sounds just like him. And it's that Dylan O'Brien kid from Love and Monsters. And I'm like, I'm starting to fall in love with this fucking asshole. And there's also sort of little, like J.K. Simmons comes in as Milton Berle, and he's a real prick. And Finn Wolfhard has a very small part as a kid on the street trying to give away tickets. And he can't, so he starts making up stories about what everybody's going to see in this new show to get them in. And there's just a lot of, really solid acting and really good dramatic moments and a lot of very funny scenes. And if you're interested in Saturday Night Live at all, this is probably something that you would like.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like perfect winter viewing, That's great.
Cuddling.
When it's snowy outside and you can't do anything else. Well, I've continued to watch Arcane season 2. They had released initially, I think it was the first 3 episodes, and now they've done 3 more. And it's kind of tough because I do love it. The art style continues to be great. The story is phenomenal, but they're kind of skipping in time and skipping through things that are happening, and it's a little bit hard to follow. And I think they're just trying to get to the end goal of the end of season 2, like where they want the story to go. Because I was like, man, like you guys missed over some very important things that would explain a lot. Like at the end of one episode, you discover that one of the characters ends up getting involved with the magical goo stuff in such a way that he kind of becomes Jesus. And then in the next episode, he's got like an entire cult of followers in the underground world, and they're all like, there's a whole system in place, and it's like, how much time has passed? And there's just a lot of stuff where they have just too many characters and too many interesting things going on that they just are kind of doing a bit of a disservice to everybody. So it's a bummer. I wish they had another season that they could do, because it needs more time to develop. But
so is this a ending season? Or
it is. It's the last season for at least the story arc. So, yeah.
Is this based on something, or is this an original story?
It's based off of League of Legends.
Oh,
so
right. Which is a game.
It's a game. It's a MMORPG.
Yeah.
And the characters, though, like you can play a lot of these characters are in the game, but there's no real backstory. But with League of Legends, they've had this sort of open copyright thing where they encourage their fans to contribute anything they like, whether that's art or stories or whatever. And there's they're not suing anybody. They just want people to enjoy this universe. So I think Arcane is out of that spirit. And they've really developed the hell out of some of this stuff. And I didn't really play the game, so sometimes I'm watching it and going, they're spending a long time looking at this like bug. I wonder if this bug is important in the game. Like, it's just, yeah. But I don't think any of these characters are nearly as developed in the game.
Okay. I'm still on the fence on whether I'm going to continue with this.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, you're pushing there's this I want to watch.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could give you the hard sell of absolutely yes. I will see what the last 3 episodes do. I do think it's an incredible series overall, so I like seeing where they're going. They have great ideas, but I'm just a little sad. I wish they had more time.
Sure. Well, I watched, I guess you'd almost call it like a bucket list kind of movie that we'd been looking for. The Last Gateway.
Oh, right.
By the director of When Evil Lurks and Terrified.
Oh.
This is on Tubi now, right, or something?
Yeah. Something with obnoxiously placed commercials. If you're going to do commercials, it'd be nice. I know they can't, because that'd be work-wise impossible.
Yeah, I'm sure that's all automated.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there could be a little discretion. But it's kind of like Absentia, where it's like, okay, there's some real, like Flanagan, there's some real talent here, but
no
the
money.
budget is low, really low. And it shows up in the acting, the way it's shot and all that. But then there's moments or two where it's like, Jesus, oh my God, that was creepy as hell. I mean, Terrified and When Evil Lurks, bordering on masterpieces.
Right.
This is good. but
Okay.
and well worth seeing. Just like Absentia, if you're a Mike Flanagan fan, you should go back and watch that because it shows the roots of talent and the difference a budget can make with somebody, even though they're incredibly talented. And it's pretty good. It's weird in that, and I don't know if it looked like it was shot in English, but overdubbed at the same time.
Interesting.
So the sound is really weird, and that's very distracting. But it's not terrible, but it just doesn't seem like the presence of on stage, on camera voices coming across. So, but yeah, definitely worth checking out.
The Last Gateway on Tubi. Yeah.
Wasn't that friggin' DeBronzo guy again? I believe,
Yes,
letting us know?
DeBronzo sent that to me too, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" And then I completely spaced on it.
You know, we love DeBronzo, but we fully encourage anybody else to interact as well. I know a lot of you have and haven't for a while. Feel free to come back in, or new folks. We're not particularly mean. So,
Look, a little DeBronzo goes a long way. It's a cliche for a reason. Why don't we take a little break and really think about what I just said. And then when we come back, we are going to be celebrating Franksgiving with you all.
I heard him yelling in the castle.
Fix me!
His name's Big Frank.
Fix me!
I said, I'm going to fix you. The talking monster, Big Frank.
I'll fix you, Big Frank. Monster Ball is fixed. How do you feel now, Frank?
I'm
It's
alive!
always fun to fix him. The talking monster, Big Frank.
Thank you.
Big Frank talks and his eyes light up. Batteries not included.
Hello?
Let's see who's called the Strange Aeons Radio hotline.
Hey, folks, it's Mike Bronzo calling in. Eric, I'm going to pass on Strange Circus. It sounds absolutely horrible, even for someone like me. But thanks for thinking of me. And for everybody else, I happen to mention this to Vanessa, Eric, and whoever else I'm blanking on. Oh, that Kelly guy. There you go. They had talked about a movie that was called The Last Gateway. And if anybody remembers this is from the director of When Evil Lurks and Terrified. Not to be confused with Terrifier with Art the Clown, but Terrified, which is a South American movie, really good. But it is on Tubi right now. And that is The Last Getaway from 2007. I haven't checked it out yet, but hey, you feel like it. As I mentioned all three of them, I'm sure it's going to come up at some point. Join the conversation. You can even call in and talk about it. Anyhow, you guys have a good day. I will talk to you later.
If you'd like to call the Strange Aeons Radio hotline, dial 253-237-4266.
Nobody hangs up on me.
And we are back. Hopefully, keeping the tradition going for many years, or
Yes.
at least as many years as we keep the show going. We're going to be doing Frankenstein movies on Thanksgiving because I like the sound of Franksgiving.
Excellent.
This is the only reason why.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. It's a lot of episodes we do a year. So
Yeah, well, I felt like it fit. You know, I could have said, guess what, guys? We're doing all Frank Sinatra movies every Thanksgiving. And then, you know, after about 2 episodes,
Yeah,
we'd be done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
wouldn't
true.
take long.
So instead, I picked Frankenstein. I am going first. I am putting 5 minutes on the buzzer. And I am talking about, from 1990, Frankenstein Unbound.
30 years ago, Roger Corman began to explore the dark side of the American psyche. With movies like The Undead, The Pit and the Pendulum, and the original Little Shop of Horrors. Now, he feels the world is ready for the greatest horror story ever told. as it's never been told before. Frankenstein, Unbound, starring John Hurt, Raul Julia, and Bridget Fonda, directed by Roger Corman.
Directed by Roger Corman.
Oh, wow.
56 directing credits. We covered him a few episodes back. He's also got 494 production credits. I talked about X, the Man with the X-Ray Eyes. He also did The Haunted Palace and Battle Beyond the Stars. This was written by Roger Corman and F.X. Feeney, who has 4 credits, one of which is in post-production right now, called Harris Kubrick. And it is based on the novel by Brian Aldiss, which is from 1970 or something like that. Starring John Hurt.
Whoa.
214 credits, including Midnight Express, The Elephant Man, 1984, but he played Kane in Alien and played him again at the end of Spaceballs. Also in this is Raul Julia as Dr. Frankenstein.
What?
52 credits, including Street Fighter, Kiss of the Spider-Woman. But he will always be known to me as Gomez in the Addams Family and Addams Family Values. Also in this, Bridget Fonda.
Jesus Christ.
As Mary Shelley. 49 credits, including Jackie Brown, Point of No Return, Singles, very briefly in Army of Darkness. Remember that when she shows up as Ash's girlfriend at the end?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Frankenstein Unbound?
No.
When did it come out?
1990.
I might have, but I don't know.
You guys, it is the distant future, the year 2031, which probably sounded further away in 1990, and especially in 73, I see, is when the book was written. And we meet Dr. Buchanan, a scientist who has developed the ultimate weapon. But the kicker is that because it is so powerful, he hopes it will end all war.
Ooh.
What it does do instead is cause erratic weather and opens rifts in space and time. And as he drives home in his futuristic car, he is caught in one such rift and deposited in Switzerland, 1817.
Wow.
He hides the car in a barn, Back to the Future style, and finds himself in a tavern in a tiny village where he meets none other than Victor Frankenstein. They become chums because they're both doctors. Doctor? This movie is quite silly and depends on a bunch of lucky coincidences to move the story forward. For example, there's a woman on trial for killing Frankenstein's younger brother, but she claims to be innocent, and several villagers claim to have seen a monster in the woods and suggest he might be the killer of the young man. And Buchanan is convinced of this because he knows who Victor Frankenstein is, the same way we all do. He read the book by Mary Shelley.
Oh, sure.
Oh, my God.
So he goes to talk to Mary Shelley and tells her he is from the future and even has his car print out a copy of her novel that she hasn't written yet. And they start falling in love.
Oh, Jesus.
Meanwhile, the monster has killed Victor's fiancée, following on a promise he made earlier because the doctor had not created a mate for him. Buchanan gets roped into Frankenstein's experiment using his sentient futuristic car as a power source. But during the climax of the experiment, he instructs the car to overload its systems, which opens up another portal and throws them all into a far future nuclear winter, where Frankenstein accidentally kills the monster's bride, and then the monster kills him.
Whoa.
The end. Nope, not the end.
Oh, God.
Nope. Then we get a fourth act for some reason, where
my.
Buchanan is tracking the monster through this Arctic future and into a huge underground silo where he has another climactic battle with the monster, finally killing him. But not really, because
Oh, my God.
I'm going to spoil the ending of this flick by telling you that the monster's intelligence is now in the silo supercomputer system, where it tells Buchanan, "You can't kill me. I am unbound."
Oh, my God.
Okay.
What?
So this movie sounds very stupid, right? But I did not hate this.
Oh, good.
It is a lot of fun. Also, fun fact, Michael Hutchence, the late singer of the rock band In Excess, plays Percy Shelley. And Jason Patrick plays Lord Byron.
Whoa.
Good Lord.
Right. Some trivia.
Roger Corman just said, hey, guys.
This is the first directing assignment since Corman directed Von Richthofen and Brown in 1971 and his last theatrical movie before his death in 2024. Roger Corman directed this film at the urging of 20th Century Fox, which had decided that having his name attached to it would help sell the film. I am partially responsible for this, my friends. In 1988-ish or so,
Guess we don't
Story
get
time.
it now.
No, I need to know.
Yes.
I am a heartbroken young man wandering the mall in Los Angeles, and I am stopped by a person who says, "Would you mind sitting in and looking at some movie trailers?"
Oh, shit.
And I said, "Absolutely, I will." And one of the trailers was for a really stupid-looking Peter Pan movie that I was like, no thanks. And then one of them was a Frankenstein movie that had footage that was not in this film at all.
Okay.
And it just said Roger Corman's Frankenstein. And so when I'm filling the stuff out, you know, they then ask you, why did you fill this out here? What did you like about this? And I said, I like the idea of Roger Corman doing a Frankenstein movie. And the guy was like, okay. So
Oh.
cut to many years later, in an interview years later, Corman talks about 20th Century Fox reaching out to him because the title Roger Corman's Frankenstein had tested well with audiences.
Yay!
So-
Good job. You did your part.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Frankenstein Unbound can be found
Oh, nice.
only through nefarious means. I'm
Oh, really?
sorry to tell you.
Not even YouTube? Come on.
There is, I think it is broken up on YouTube in like 50 chapters.
Yes, excellent.
So
2
maybe.
minutes at a time.
It's in like the lower right-hand corner with just like a different movie playing on the left. Oh, yes.
Who wants to go next?
I will go next.
Vanessa. 5 minutes.
All right. Well, this gave me the opportunity to finally do Frankenweenie.
He was a great dog, a great friend.
The best dog a kid could have.
When you lose someone you love, they never really leave you. They just move into a special place in your heart.
I don't want him in my heart. I want him here with me.
I know. If we could bring him back, we would.
I'm sorry, boy.
Sparky! I can't believe it! Your dog is alive!
Sparky, shh. Easy, boy. I can fix that.
From 2012. I've been looking for an
Nice.
excuse, and now I have one. This is, of course, directed/written by Tim Burton, who we know from Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Nightmare Before Christmas, Batman, Batman Returns, and we talked about Ed Wood on the show. It's partially written by John August of the Script Notes podcast that he does with Craig Mazin, who, if you know what that means, then you know what that means. Starring
Alrighty then.
Craig Mazin wrote that really popular nuclear explosion show, and also the last oh my god, brain. Anyway, doesn't matter. Starring
The Day After?
the what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Chernobyl. He wrote Chernobyl,
Oh,
and then he
jeez.
wrote Last of Us.
Oh, wow.
starring Charlie Tahan, who plays Victor Frankenstein. He has 40 credits, including Ethan in I Am Legend and Wyatt in 41 episodes of Ozark. He was also Ben in Wayward Pines and the Scarecrow in Gotham. He's going to be in the upcoming Witchboard remake. We also have Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Martin Short, Martin Landau, and Christopher Lee in archival footage. The plot stars young Victor Frankenstein, who lives with his loving parents and his dog Sparky in a small town of New Holland. He is a young boy. He loves his dog Sparky. He has him star in his homemade movies, and Sparky is his very best friend until Sparky is abruptly hit by a car. Victor doesn't have any other friends and finds himself slowly kind of beginning to become friends with his neighbor Elsa, who is, of course, played by Winona Ryder. He has a series of strange classmates that we meet, and an even stranger science teacher who feels kind of like this rip-off Christopher Lee, just crazy scientist man. And he's also great. He's just a weird, old, angry German man who says inappropriate things. In class, Mr. Reiskuski demonstrates the effect of electricity on a dead frog, and Victor then goes and, of course, digs up Sparky, bringing him to his attic to a makeshift lab where he reanimates him with lightning. Sparky comes back to life and is just as happy and precocious as ever, and the next day, Sparky escapes and explores the neighborhood. He is recognized by Victor's classmate Edgar, who decides to pair up with Victor for the science fair in hopes of winning after seeing what Victor has been able to do. But of course, he can't keep it to himself. He tells all the classmates that Victor can reanimate dead pets using electricity. He tells them how he did it, and then all the kids go out and try to reanimate their pets to very big consequences. So we have sea monkeys that are the size of monkeys and running around town trying to terrorize people. There's a turtle the size of Godzilla. And there is a hamster that is kind of a little mummy hamster running around. So they are all attacking the New Holland Fair. Victor must help along with Sparky to save the town and free them from these terrors. While initially the townsfolk want to attack Sparky and blame him for everything going on, he helps save the young girl from a fire, and then they love him afterwards. So this is a much better movie than I thought it was going to be. It has some good heart around Sparky and Victor, which I thought was great. I love the teacher. Pretty satisfying story, even though it's a bit slow. I do hate the dumb names like Victor Frankenstein, Edgar E. Gore, Elsa Van Helsing, Shelley the turtle named after Mary Shelley. I was like, fucking no. I hate when you guys do this. This is the worst. Trivia, tagline, the electrifying dog is back from the grave. This film is loosely based on the live-action short Frankenweenie from 1984, also written and directed by Tim Burton. The Pet Cemetery features the grave of Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas. Winona Ryder does her own singing in this, and it is god-awful. The mayor of the town is Mr. Bürgermeister, which means mayor in German. So, Mr. Mayor. Tim Burton stated in an interview for CBBC that he would not do this film unless he was allowed to do it in black and white, which of course he was then allowed to do. Filming began at 3 Mills Studio. In 2010, the crew created 3 giant sound stages, including Victor's cluttered family attic, a cemetery exterior, and a school interior. The sound stages were then divided into 30 separate areas to deal with the handcrafted frame-by-frame style of filmmaking. Compared to other stop-motion animation sets, Frankenweenie's set was much, much larger. They even had Swiss watchmakers come in to create the tiny nuts and bolts. It was a big undertaking. So that's my film.
Huh, okay, so I did not realize when you were talking about this that this was an animated film.
Yes.
I remember getting on VHS his first short film, and then the remake is just this.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's hand animated, very much like Nightmare Before Christmas. Stop motion, has a very similar, it's a very Tim Burton-y feeling piece.
Is it also a musical?
No. It is the only animated piece of his that is not a musical.
Winona Ryder singing?
She is singing the Holland, the whatever New Holland State Fair song at the beginning of like their celebration, and it is just truly bad.
Like
Is it supposed to be kind of bad then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's supposed to be very terrible at it, so it's fine. But she did actually sing with her real singing voice, which just happens to be very bad, which works.
Use what you got.
She was like, Tim, do you want me to sing this like on purpose bad? And he was like, oh, no, do it as you would normally
Try. Just try. Let's see what happens.
Huh, okay. What is this on? Disney?
Yes, Disney, Hulu.
Did you watch the original?
I did
short film?
not.
It's very cute. I remember
is
that. I
super
have
cute.
not seen the movie, but the original's very
I think you sold me the VHS.
Yeah, probably. That'd be about the right time.
Starting a relationship that it was a love that would last a lunchtime.
That's right.
Good Lord.
5 minutes.
All righty. Well, okay. 2016's Frankenstein created bikers.
This is a world of unspeakable horror. Death only comes after eternal suffering. They quench their appetites with perversion and feast off your fear. There is no hope, no God, no salvation. There are no heroes here, only pain. Don't know why they brought me back. I'm the worst it's ever been, and I won't stop killing until we're all in hell. Thing about pain, once you accept it, you're consumed by it. There's no pain in death, just in living. And I ain't dying again.
Whoa.
So, this is available on this streaming service I had not heard of before called FilmZ, and I can hardly not recommend it.
Oh.
The soundtrack was skipped out of audio.
Oh, no.
All through it.
Oh, no.
You'd have to reload it to correct it, and then a little while later it'd skip off again. And I mean by like seconds.
Oh.
So it's like, all right. And this movie was a little over 2 hours long. But since it was the power outage and all the shit was going through, I just got to finish this. Directed by James Bikert, who directed Dear God No and Dumpster Baby.
Oh.
Plus, in a connection to your pick, he did set dresser for 22 episodes of Ozarks.
Oh, interesting.
He also wrote this. The lead actor, Jeff Bryant, apparently seems like one of his friends because he's in almost all his movies. Lawrence R. Harvey, you might know from the classic Human Centipede 2 and 3.
No.
And a short film that played at Crypticon Seattle called Call Girl, which starred, who's also in this, Tristan Risk.
Oh.
And so she was in Call Girl, American Mary, Rabid. Very lovely person. Been to Crypticon a few times. The movie breakdown. Well, okay. Looks like it's going to be crazy bad, and you know what? It kind of is. Good music, though. Holy shit. And they needed to use a whole lot more of it. They had these bands I love. Bigfoot, Dusty Booze, and the Baby Haters, the 45s, the Biters, the Pink, Scars, Gale, Truckadelic. All kind of these weird 70s sounding bands.
I love the Biters.
You do know the Biters, yeah. So the music was really good. Darcy is in this.
Oh.
Under her previous name. I would say this movie has something to offend everyone. And that's just the introduction of the team of vigilantes that are going against the Frankenstein created bikers. So it's like this 4 or 5 minute scene with Tristan Risk, who's the lead woman, who's got a look similar to Tura Santana from Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, combined with Kristen Lindbergh from Thriller, A Cruel Picture. And that's got to be the look the guy was going for when he put together this. But the double entendres are plentiful and corny. There's a big, giant, hairy monster, the Bigfoot gorilla thing, I guess, that comes out and it's kind of attacking the teens that are hanging out there, and then the bikers come and save them. The rest of the movie is pretty much a battle between the bikers and various people. The bikers are more zombie than they are Frankenstein because they just can't be killed. There's even a scene where one guy decides he's done being a part of the biker gang and takes his big ass 6-shooter and shoots himself in the head on the side. Then he shoots himself in the head up in his mouth. Then he does something that blows his head clean off and he sticks the gun straight down into his torso and shoots again. I don't know if that actually worked. So that gives you an idea. The strange part of what this is a frustrating film because it borders on being an amazing bad movie and in a really fun way, but it's over 2 freaking hours long. Oof. If 20, 30 minutes had been cut out of this, because I watched this, this is fun. And then a few minutes later, I'm going, Jesus Christ. And then, it gets good again. And then fade. It's like, geez, man. And part of the problem is it's got these strange tonal changes. The guy from Human Centipede 2 and 3 has one of the women from the beginning that he's captured and is imprisoned with a couple other women in this dark place, basement kind of thing, and is kind of torturing them. And it's really dark and really disturbing. And then the rest of the movie is kind of this goofy Roger Corman on speed and stuff.
Oh, no.
So the tone change is very weird. Kind of considered a sequel to Dear God No, and I'm good watching just this version. So overall, this was, if this had been a 90-minute movie, I think it'd be a lot of fun because so much is so badly well done, shall we say. It did look good, which made sense because of his, he does the set dressing for Ozark. So It's really well done, decently shot. The acting was uneven, as it would be in anything like this, but it was just kind of frustrating because I think it really could have been good, but it just kept stepping on its own toes.
What year did you say this came out?
2016.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, it is.
Do you feel
it's
like
not a movie I would recommend to very many people at all?
So. Do you feel like it's like purposely trying to be a bad movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But tongue in cheek, knowing what it's doing.
Yeah.
Not because some people do that and it's a disaster.
Yeah. That's why I was like, ooh.
This one, they know they're making the kind of movie they're making and lean in full tilt right into it.
Gotcha.
So when it works, it's a lot of fun, but when it doesn't, it's yeesh.
Well, I won't be watching that, but I might be watching Frankenstein Unbound one more time.
Yeah, I would.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah. Because, film's the pain in the ass to watch. And apparently the Blu-ray, which I might own, is going for like $100 to $200. So I might not own it for long.
Wow. Yeah, no kidding.
Excellent.
Wow. Happy Franksgiving, guys.
Yeah,
we did it again.
Thanksgiving.
Can't wait to do this all over in one more year.
That's right.
Yeah.
But in 1 week, we'll be doing something different.
That's right. I figure we'll keep the international expansion going and go to the far, far distant land of Canada.
Oh, Canada.
To talk about some Canada genre films because they have a severely underrated representation of some pretty damn good movies being made.
Plus, it is literally 78 miles from my house here, so it is a long drive.
That's right. Yeah, it'd be a long walk.
Sure. So Canada for next week. Okay, I like that idea a lot. Okay, this is the part where, if I can remember how this all goes whenever live, we say thank you to everybody who is out there liking and sharing posts, who's reaching out via messages or however you do to kind of let us know what you're thinking or watching or what you'd like us to watch. If you're off on the Strange Aeons Radio talk page interacting with people, I saw it got a little pissy there in one of my posts. Everybody just relax and have a good time.
With your... Yeah, you had a couple cranky ones yesterday, it seemed like, with Jordan Peele and...
the Jordan Peele one was a joke that I think a couple of people were offended, and then a couple of people jumped on my side, and I was like, hey, you guys, if you're going to fight, I will delete this post. I will turn this post right around.
I was very fascinated by your post, because I was like, what the fuck is this movie? Appreciate you.
That's a fair point, yes.
Yeah, well, that trailer popped on, and it looked pretentious as fuck.
It looked horrible.
Well, that's true.
Fucking like Charlie Kaufman wannabe shit. Yeah, it looked bad. Sorry. Looked bad.
Anyway, but if you would like to know what we're talking about, head over to Facebook. Still the only good page on Facebook. We are also thanking everybody who participates in the Value for Value, which is what DeBronzo did by buying some pizzas and asking Vanessa to deal with
the DeBronzo film.
I'm excited.
Movie that Eric and I and DeBronzo have seen, and now I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it.
Yes, DeBronzo did give me a little bit of a warning about this.
Oh, he did? Okay.
So yeah, he
don't do that, man.
No, he wanted to know if I had it initially, because I would have just watched it then. But then he was like, "Oh, you don't have it. Here are some pizzas."
Gotcha.
To make sure you can see it.
Oh, see, that's the way it's done.
Cool.
We really appreciate that. That's not quite the way it's done. I want you guys to understand how this is really working. We are giving you value already. Whatever you give us is for what we have already given you. So just everybody get that straight in their heads.
I had to drive all the way here
exactly.
and hang out with people I like. So come on.
Hold on, what?
When are you doing that? You can also reach us on the Strange Aeons Radio hotline, which is 253-237-4266, and leave us a message. We love getting the messages.
Yes,
so,
we do.
Yeah. All right, guys, I think that is it. And we're going to be back in 7 short days. We are talking Canucksploitation. See you next Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Aeons Radio produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Aeons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, you know what we mean. Strange Aeons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
I got my very crappy chains for my Honda Fit.